This is Renu Arya from IFSI studio. Good morning and a very warm welcome. We take great delight in entering the third year of the International Festival of Spiritual India, a date with spirituality held online for the first time ever, but with the same passion and eagerness. We are thankful to our title sponsor, Celebrite Media, for the wholehearted support which made it possible to organize the third edition of IFSI. To inaugurate the festival, we have invited in the virtual studio our guests, Yogacharya Dr. Ananda Balayogi Bhavanani and Shri Uday Pendse, our festival director, Dr. Manjiri Prabhu. A few thoughts from our guests are certainly in order. Dr. Prabhu, we would love to hear how it feels to organize this festival in its third year.
Thank you, Renu. And everyone, welcome to the third edition of the International Festival of Spiritual India. Thank you, sir, Dr. Bhavanani ji. Very happy to have you here. We are awaiting Uday Pendse ji. He hasn't as yet joined, but we can begin. I hope that he'll join us soon. Renu, how do I feel? I just feel super great. I feel immensely proud today in curating and presenting the third edition of IFSI. We live in a world where negativity has become a habit. We humans just love to create trouble for each other and everyone around us, including nature, environment, animals, human beings, knowingly or unknowingly. And this has become such a huge part of our life that now it's almost, I feel like, a kind of a pattern. It's a behavior, it's a natural habit, it's a spontaneous act. And I mean, look at the war happening in Ukraine right now, or think of how and why the pandemic happened, or think of how we torture animals and abuse the environment and the planet. So we are dealing with one situation after the other, either man-made or so-called natural. What is happening is that we are creating so much negative energy around us that now we even seem to rejoice in the misery of others, which of course means that we have completely lost touch with the ways to get ourselves out of it. And we don't even realize that we have this huge, vast, ancient spiritual knowledge available to us in India and in the world, which will help us get out of this whole, catch-22 situation that we've brought ourselves in. And this knowledge would help us cleanse our negative emotions and thoughts, our turmoil. It'll fill us with positive and beautiful energy and help us find our real paths in life. And I believe that this is the real role of IFSI, to lead us to knowledge, to lead us to a soul purpose, to help us understand life. And I'm truly grateful to all the spiritual gurus and thinkers and teachers and practitioners who have so generously agreed to share their vast experience and deep knowledge with all the viewers and with us. I think we are all together in this, and we're all heading step by step in our own ways and through the festival, definitely heading towards a common goal. And that goal is overcoming negative energies, embracing love, peace, compassion, vibrant energy, and understanding the value of human life and coexistence and harmony. So I want to thank everyone for joining us today. I hope you have a great 2-day event. Please attend, please join. The sessions are free. I'm sure you're going to learn a lot from each one of the gurus who are going to be speaking. And thank you so much for being a part of our journey so far and now in this third festival. Before I wind up, I just want to remind everyone that at 10:30 we shall have our first inaugural keynote session by Dr. Bhavanani. Please do join us again for that. And thank you, Renu, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Dr. Prabhu. I believe we have Mr. Uday Pendse with us.
Yes, I think he is.
Yes. Can we, Mr. Uday Pendse, I request you to share your thoughts, please.
I think he's still, but yeah, probably maybe we can start with I don't know, Mr. Pense, Udayji, can you hear me? Um, we'll just have to wait for a couple of minutes. Udayji, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Yes. Okay.
Great. Welcome, Mr. Uday. I request you to share some thoughts with us.
So, good morning, lovers of life. To begin with, the first major issue that I have on hand is to congratulate from the bottom of my heart Dr. Manjiri Prabhu, who has taken pains to, go into this third festival of International Festival of Spiritual India. Now, when I say that we need to congratulate her, her domain initially is she is basically a lady with pen and paper. Okay, so she is a literary lady. And to venture into this after 9 years of successful PILF to get into International Festival of Spiritual India was a very big step into the unknown. Even though people realize the value of spiritualness, spiritual life, everybody likes everybody else to be good, but not myself. Okay, everybody should be good to me, but I need not be good to that person. Okay, that's the way we constantly keep thinking. Russia should be good to me, but I need not be good to Russia. Fine. Manjiri ji, you are one of the most blessed beings on this. When I say blessed beings on this planet, for two reasons. Your mother is blessing you. And when you are blessed by your own mother and the entire team of your sisters and brother, husband, his brother, his mother, the kind of bandwagon and the team that you have, that is the secret of success. Your own close people fully supporting you. So today the situation is, the two brothers say, I don't know what he is doing, I don't know what that fellow is doing. That's the kind of disintegrity that has landed up into our own household. And as compared to that, to be blessed with mother, because mother's blessing sometimes, I feel is much more stronger than even the God's blessings. Because who brought you into this world? It's your mother who brought you to this world. So naturally, she has a much more potential capacity to bless you than anybody else. So believe me, with these blessings, you have miles and miles ahead to go. There will be festivals and festivals of spiritual festivals. Coming to some of the issues that I have is a very story, by way of which I want to spiritualists in terms to take a minute or time. This is the story of Vietnam War. The American soldier up was ordered to bomb in Vietnam. The situation was on hand
I think the
down,
internet.
and the place he was exactly where was located. And up, he gets a feeling, hey, I cannot bomb my own friend. The first thing he did up the sky is resign, land down. Now, the moral of the story is, that if we can develop this kind of a bond of brotherhood and love amongst people, whether it be yoga, whether it be dance, whether it be music, if we are able to spread message of love and positivity, the world we have nothing will be. It is possible. I will traditional prayer and Sarvepi Sukhina Ve
think we Udayji, I think your internet is a little, you're getting cut off. You aren't audible. Okay, maybe Renu. Yeah, can we hear you?
Thank you, Udayji. Thank you so much for your kind words, sir. I now request Dr. Anand Balayogi Bhavanani to say a few words. I would also request him to bless the festival with a prayer and announce the opening of IFSI 2022. Thank you, sir.
Namaste, Dhanyavadaha, Swagatam, Bonjour, Buongiorno, Buonasera, Buonanotte, Huya More, Boreida, Salamat Pagi, Ayu Bovan, Ayushman Bhava, Suprapal, Shubdinam, and Salom. So I have tried to greet as many people in as many time zones and cultures as possible, because this is truly an international festival. An international festival that highlights the beautiful contribution of India. India, that is a living culture. It is a melting pot of culture that is in progress. A living culture that has stood the test of time, withstood so many challenges to its essential nature, and yet continues in an eternal form as Sanatana Dharma. The eternal principle of the universal ethos, Sanatana Dharma. I congratulate my dear Manjiri Prabhu on taking up this third edition of the International Festival of Spiritual India. I was privileged to be there for the first festival in person at Pune. And thanks to Uday ji, who created this connection that has grown from strength to strength in the last 2 years over the pandemic. At a time where people have moved apart, thinking that social distancing means you don't talk to each other, we have realized that through the internet, we have an opportunity to connect more efficiently, more deeply, and spirit to spirit, we connect in that sense of oneness. Whenever we begin such events, we have to, along with Om Dhang Ganapataye Namaha, invoking the spirit of Lord Ganesha, who is the Vigna Raja, Vigneshwara, to remove the obstacles. Nowadays, we add another prayer, Om Akasha Devaya Namaha, because the internet gods have to be propitious to us. They have to bless us. So Akasha Devaya Namaha is, I've added to nowadays my prayers, so that we have a seamless internet connection. Spirituality is often misunderstood as religion. Religion is a framework for the individual to connect to the spirit. But spirituality is the connection itself. Religion gives us that framework. It gives a structure. It says here is a structure which will enable you to connect to something greater than your own limited self. Whatever you call that something. But it is still a structure. And no structure is perfect because all structures are created by human beings. However, spirituality is based on the connection itself. And hence, spirituality is the relationship we as an individual have with the universe in which we are living. The relationship of the individual with the cosmos. A heart-to-heart connection with the divine itself. When we talk about spirituality, spirituality is part and parcel of every moment of our life. Because every moment of our life is an experience that the Spirit is having through us. We are not a body that has a spirit, but we are a spirit who's having a physical bodily experience. Maharishi Patanjali tells us that the whole purpose of all of this happening, why do we have all of this manifest? He says, Bhoga apavargartham drishyam. For the sake of the experience, the bhoga and the liberation. So we have to go through the experience. We have to feel the experience. Sometimes you enjoy it, sometimes you don't. Because sukha dukkha is part and parcel of our life. But then you go through the experience to go beyond the experience. And the process of self-transformation, ultimately becoming transcendence in a state of self-realization. In the different sessions today and tomorrow, we have a galaxy of speakers. And I congratulate Manjiri and her team, a beautiful team that she has, on putting together this galaxy of speakers from so many parts of the world. So many parts of the world who are going to share with us the different perspectives of the same Spirit. Because the Spirit is all about oneness. The Spirit does not admit of differentiation. The Spirit doesn't differentiate whether you are Indian or non-Indian. The Spirit doesn't differentiate if you are vegetarian or non-vegetarian. The Spirit doesn't differentiate if you're a man or woman or third gender. The Spirit is oneness. That oneness is what we seek. And that is the message we need right at this moment in human history. A moment where divisiveness is creating war. Divisiveness is creating fear. Divisiveness is creating destruction and suffering. How can we bring humanity into a state of oneness? That state of oneness which is our essential nature. The beautiful Guru Stotra tells us, Mannada Shri Jagannatha Madguru Shri Jagadguru Mannada Shri Jagannatha Madguru Shri Jagadguru Madatma Sarva Bhutatma Madatma Sarva Bhutatma Madatma Sarva Bhutatma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. The Guru Spirit enables us to realize that state of oneness. The same Spirit that is in me is in you, is in every living being in this whole cosmos. We start to connect heart to heart, soul to soul. And in that moment of oneness, we move from the sense of fear. Because it is said in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, the largest Upanishad in our Indian cultural tradition, the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad tells us, from the one came the many. From the one came the many. And in that process of coming the many, there was duality, Dvaitam. The state of Dvaita, which is duality or Dvitiyam. Dvitiyam. That is why Adi Shankara says, Dvitiyam Kutasyat. From that state of oneness, we have come to a state of duality. Dvaitam, Dvitiyam. And from that Dvitiyam or Dvaitam comes fear, Bhayam. Because the moment you feel separated from the universe in which you live, you have the fear response. Once you have the fear response, you are bound to have the stress response. And once you have the stress response, well, after that, say goodbye to the relaxation response. This is where yoga comes in, enabling us to work on reducing the stress response, enhancing the relaxation response, and thus facilitating the healing response. And where does it all start? By going from the duality to that state of oneness again. Moving from Dvaitam to Advaitam. Moving from Dvitiyam to Ekam. Because that state of oneness is the state of ease, the state of peace, the state of harmony, the state of wellness, the state of the highest attitude, the beatitude. This is why festivals like the International Festival of Spiritual India are so essential. These festivals are essential to remind us, why are we here? What is the goal of human existence? Well, again, Sanatana Dharma tells us, it all is there for you to work on. Dharma, fulfill your dharma, live in a noble, righteous manner, in tune with the cosmic principles. That is why you are born. You are born human, so be human. And when you fulfill your dharma with mindfulness, by choice, you start to fulfill artha. The material prosperity will come on its own. Kama, the sensual, emotional fulfillment will come on its own. And through that, the final goal of human life, liberation, moksha, will come on its own. When we live a life of dharma, when we live in tune with the dharma rai, the principle of the universal ethos, at that time, artha kama will come on their own. And the final, most important fulfillment of the higher spirituality, moksha, will be there. Dharmartha kama mokshanam chadurvida purushartha. This is what we have to remind ourselves. We have forgotten why we are born. And when we remind ourselves, we start to feel at ease with ourselves. When you are you are at ease. But when you are trying to be something you are not, you're not going to be at ease with yourself, because Dvitiyam has happened. And from Dvitiyam comes Bhayam. From Bhayam, fear comes the whole stress response. I'm going to be tackling this in my lead talk that comes after this inaugural, so I'm not going to go further on that. But I wanted to share a very beautiful prayer, because it is a prayer that is absolutely essential at this point of time. We need to understand that we all have to come together. And our culture says, when you come together, there will be friction. When you learn together, there will be friction. When you work together, there will be friction. But let not that friction stop you from doing the right thing. Realize that through the friction, you become a better version of yourself. A diamond will not be a diamond if it doesn't undergo the friction and the high temperature and pressures that make the coal, the charcoal, into graphite and graphite into the diamond. At the same time, we must remember that those who are helping us become a better version of ourselves, helping that spirit to have the experiences it needs for the bhoga to go into the apavarga and the moksha, kaivalya, mukti and nirvana. Those experiences are held by the people who are with us. And that is why our tradition says, Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahi Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. A beautiful reminder. We are all in it together. Let us all work together. Let us all help each other walk this path. We are all walking each other towards that highest goal of moksha. May this be the reality. And may this festival be a catalyst for the transformation of all of those who are part of this festival, those who are presenting, those who are attending, those who are organizing, and may we be the change we want to see in the world, quoting the great Mahatma Gandhi. I would like to, at this point, declare this festival open, and it gives me the great pleasure to invoke the great Guru Parampara. May all the Gurus bless this festival, bless everyone who is part of this festival. And with these words, I declare this festival, the International Festival of Spiritual India 2022, open for all. Namaste.
Thank you.